What's going on YouTube? This is SG1 Sports, and in this video we're going to look at our power rankings heading into week 7 of the college football season in the ACC. We had a pretty good shakeup here with Louisville losing to NC State. Also Florida State goes down to Miami, but not a ton of changes. Number 1, Clemson, and like I've said before, Clemson really should be in a tier all by themselves, but we're going to put Miami here as well at number 2. Again, I think Clemson is a much superior team to Miami. I think they're much superior to anybody in the ACC. They do have a tough game coming up against NC State on the road, so that'll be one to watch. Other than that, Clemson gonna just clearly smooth sailing all the way to the ACC championship game. Miami, big win over Florida State. They do lose Walton, the running back. I think he's out for the season, so that's gonna be a tough blow for them. I still think it's going to be Miami or Virginia Tech there in the Coastal Division, but don't count out Georgia Tech either. And I've been saying that all along. They're a sneaky team, just kind of hanging around there after that first loss of the season, or that loss in the first game of the year against Tennessee. So let's go ahead and look at our next tier. Just talked about NC State a second ago, and they come in at number 3. They are on the rise after that win over Louisville. I know they lost to South Carolina week 1, but they really dominated that game. It was just kind of one of those weird games where they didn't win because of some big plays. So they're number 3. Virginia Tech put up, the best effort against Clemson so far this year out of the teams in the ACC. Georgia Tech at number 5. They didn't play this past weekend. They haven't had a tough schedule since that opener against Tennessee. So I may be reading a little bit too much into this, maybe overhyping Georgia Tech just a little bit. But they have looked impressive in those games. I mean, they've dominated against teams like North Carolina and Pittsburgh, who I know are terrible, but still, they've looked good in those games. So we'll see what Georgia Tech does moving forward now that the schedule is going to start getting tougher in the ACC. So yeah, NC State, the team to watch. If they beat Clemson, they're pretty much, they're going to the ACC championship. That is going to be pretty interesting if it happens. Okay, now the next tier we've got here is Florida State and Louisville. It's going to be a good matchup between these two teams. Yeah, I've got Florida State. I don't know. Maybe I should have Louisville ahead of Florida State. I thought Florida State played really good against Miami. Blackman is playing much better at quarterback. They've still got a solid defense. Cam Akers is starting to look like one of the best running backs in college football. Louisville does not play any defense, really. They don't have a good run game. It's just the Lamar Jackson show, which is what I said it would be preseason. That's why I wasn't too high on them. So yeah, again, each tier of these teams, if they're on the same page, that means I have them in the same tier, and I think of them pretty much even. So yeah, you can put them either way. If you want to put Louisville ahead of Florida State, that's fine. But I still think the Seminoles are one of the better teams in the ACC, even though it's been a rough start, especially with Blackman now getting some experience. I think they're going to win some games here throughout the rest of the season. Not Clemson, though. I don't think they beat Clemson on the road. Next here, we got Virginia. Boy, they're on the rise. Just one loss, so look out for them. Wake Forest at number 9. Put up an okay effort against Clemson, about as good as you would expect a team to play against Clemson, the way they've been beating everybody else. Held them down to just 28 points. Syracuse, big win this past weekend. They are looking better. Duke is kind of trending down. They lose to Virginia this week. I kind of got hopped up on them after their wins over Baylor and Northwestern. And who else did they beat? North Carolina, I think. But yeah, it's back to reality now for Duke as they drop all the way down to number 11. They have some time maybe to climb back up in these rankings, but Virginia, definitely the big surprise, the big story out of these 4 teams. And we'll see what happens. See if Virginia can keep it up. I'm not convinced on them, but they have been playing pretty good football. And how about our bottom tier, the worst 3 teams? And you can put these teams in any order you want. North Carolina, Boston College, and Pitt. They're all terrible. I'm sorry. They just are. Boston College, they looked okay against Virginia Tech. They kind of hung around in the game. It wasn't ever close or anything like that. But they didn't get absolutely blown out. North Carolina looked terrible against Notre Dame again. And a big problem with them is the injuries. So you got to cut them a break, I guess, a little bit. Pitt, they're just, they lose to Syracuse. They can't do anything. And it's strange to see North Carolina and Pittsburgh down here at the very bottom in the ACC. But if you've been following my channel, I told you preseason that it was not going to be a good year for North Carolina or Pitt. Now, they're worse than I thought, but I knew that this would be a bad year for them. Both teams lost a ton of players, so don't be ready to fire the coaches just yet. It's just 1 year. They'll probably bounce back next year. But for now, they are staying down here at the bottom of our power rankings. So that's it for the ACC. What are your thoughts on these teams? Go ahead and leave a comment down below. And that's it for this one. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more here on the SG1 Sports YouTube channel.